students and now I'm ungraded. These are the criteria. If you look at this and you give them what they want, then you will be able to achieve in the relevant category. Okay. So the what a gold and a silver and a bronze is, you can read in your own time, that section. But please go down to where it says certificate categories. All right. And I want you to grab your highlighter here, because this is what is allowed and what is not allowed. Okay. And they're very strict about it. Okay. In the section A1, all right, and I'm going to expound just now on what A1 is about. The markers will require candidates to write with academic skill. So that means, and academic skill means academic writing, a discursive or argumentative essay approach. That's what academic writing is, with academic skill, which means you are not writing with an excessive amount of adverbs, adjectives. It's not flowery language, okay? It's not a creative piece. You are merely responding with information, and you are trying to prove a point, whatever that point is that is indicated in the question. And they look at exactly how focused you are on the question, your ability to remain focused on what they've required you to do. Okay. And of course, number one always, vocab. Your ability to express yourself succinctly, clearly. Okay. Right. This means that the writing will be formal. Highlight. Formal. Avoiding colloquialism, so no slang. Okay. What you avoid there as well, like this is a lot of rehash from last week, okay? You'll see from my feedback that I gave about the Advanced Program English exam at the end of last year. No colloquialisms, also no contractions. Avoid contractions, okay? This includes most idiomatic expressions and all contractions and slang. And remember, even the word great, if you don't mean it, if it's not meant as large or massive or huge, is not acceptable. Okay, this is a really great line. I don't think so. No. Okay, what would you use as an alternative? No, we don't. Don't compliment. Don't compliment the writer. That's a cheap move to tell me you haven't read and analyzed as you should have. Okay, don't compliment the writer. Rather be analytical. Okay. This line provides us, or is profound. This is a profound line in that it expands clearly on the character and the characterization and the plot, etc. Okay, words like that you're allowed to use. Okay. The diction, particularly, choice of words, diction is choice of words, will set this candidate apart and will show that the candidate has read fairly widely and is not only comfortable with word selection, but has an aptitude for choosing the best and most appropriate word for the task. That's why I'm always pushing vocabulary, because it's not good enough just knowing one word for how to say something. You need 5 or 6 alternatives, and then you know which one you need to pull out and use depending on your audience, if you're speaking, and on your reader, if you're writing. Okay. A candidate able to do this will write economically. Yes, highlight, economically. In other words, short sentences to the point. So you're mainly going to use here simple sentences and sometimes compound sentences if you're comparing and contrasting. And if some of you are looking at me very strangely going, what the heck is that? I will do a little insert on simple, compound, and complex, and loose and periodic sentences. Okay. Because some people are not aware of what they are, and I can't make the assumption that you know. Okay. He or she will also display a sense of having engaged with the text. How do I know you've engaged with the text? You know the characters' names. You can spell them correctly. Okay. And there is depth and insight to what you are saying. You're not just mentioning stuff. Okay. And you are substantiating with rigorous examples from the text. Okay. Remember, you may not make a statement without substantiating it. Okay. They will be able to quote liberally, appropriately, and correctly. Highlight. So if you want a gold, you must be able to quote directly from the text. And really, it's unforgivable not being able to quote in an English Olympiad type of setup, because it's an open book exam. You have the text right in front of you. So you can, if you know where to look. So if you know your text well, and you know that there's a wonderful quotation on page 5 of Frankenstein that will relate to this passage, you will have put your little marker in, and you know exactly where to find it, and you've highlighted it. Okay, so it's possible to get a gold. It really is. Okay, right, over the page. Now this is the difference between a gold and a silver. This is a very competent candidate, and if you receive a silver award, you can be justly proud of yourself. We received 1 silver award last year, the King's Pool West Rand. Maragon also got a silver award. It means you can write academically appropriately. You rarely lapse into colloquialisms, and you never use slang. So you'll know, as you're reading now, are you kind of going, that's me, or that's not me, okay? You know what category you're in at the moment, and you can decide what you want to present on the day. Okay. Your vocabulary will be very good. You will have prepared for the exam thoroughly. You write perfect PEE. Now I'm going to get to what PEE is just now. That is basically my version of substantiating, make the statement, substantiate, and draw the conclusion. But they have a very nice way of remembering it. So you just remember to P. If you remember to P, you can write the paragraph. Okay. All right. You know what you want to say, and you say it. You are more than competent, and you will probably go on to do brilliantly in your chosen field at a tertiary level. Okay. Bronze. This candidate is very competent and has prepared for the exam thoroughly. The candidate might slip occasionally, allowing the odd colloquialism or slang expression into his or her writing. So do you see in the past they didn't include this in the study guide? And this is very helpful, isn't it? So that we know what the criteria are. Okay. This candidate would probably do brilliantly once he or she has been given the time to thoroughly edit his or her work. It is all about presentation skills at university. Highlight that. It is all about presentation skills at university, and these can be learned. Okay, you too can be proud of yourself. If you get a merit, the content of your work shows that you've engaged with the text in a real way. You might enjoy reading and know what you want to say, but have not yet acquired the skills to put your ideas across, which means you don't have the vocabulary or possibly the sentence structure. Okay, vocabulary, sentence structure. Your ability to express yourself. Your writing may be a bit undisciplined at times. If I hear a marker saying that, then I know it's a lack of punctuation usually. Undisciplined writing means lack of punctuation. Start a new sentence. Okay, new paragraph, new idea, and they're going to talk to us now about paragraphing as well. Okay. Your writing may be there, and the odd non-sentence cliche or slang expression may creep into your writing. If they give the thanks for coming award, participation, then that means you certainly have a point of view. Okay, you have an opinion. They're being nice here. But sometimes it is hidden in rote learned phrases. Highlight that. Rote learning means they can clearly see that by the rest of your essay, there are certain phrases that stand out as looking like they're not quite your wording. And it's not quite your work or your level of understanding, which means you have taken stock phrases that I am using and you have put them into your essay, and that's why it doesn't sound like you. Be careful of that, okay, because they will penalize for that. Because that is actually a kind of plagiarism. It's a type of plagiarism. They'll know. You quickly know if you're reading a candidate and they start off the introduction in this way, and then suddenly they have these gems emerging, and you're going, is this the same person writing? Okay, right. So you have a point of view, so avoid the rote learned phrases. Instead of responding sincerely and honestly to the text, you may be insecure and rely on things you have learned or written down elsewhere. Okay, and that means you're not trusting your own vocabulary and your ability to express yourself. Okay, and I'm giving you license to do that. You wouldn't be sitting here in this position wanting to write the Olympiad if you did not have the talent to do so. Okay, so pat yourselves on the back and say, I can do it. Okay, there we go. All right. And unclassified, oh boy, this is obvious. Unclassified candidates usually know when they will not receive a certificate. Don't you love that? Okay. So sometimes it's the candidates who after the first hour will go, okay, well, I didn't expect that, and they'll just pack up and go. Okay, we do have these candidates, but they're so far and few between, okay, because they've put in so much work that it's not worth not finishing the exam, okay. The most common reason lies in panic, okay. I'm going to give you some tips on how to handle the panic, okay. And actually, let's do those now. I want you all, as you're sitting in your chairs, I want you to cross your feet, not your legs. Don't cross your legs. Cross your feet, put your legs out in front of you, cross your feet, okay? My son tried this during the exams last year because he was grade 4 last year. It's the first time he ever wrote exams. He said, Mom, I did what you told me and it worked. Okay, so cross your feet, cross, and loosely in your lap, just cross your wrists, okay? And I want you to sit like that for about 30 seconds. Because what it's doing is, it's crossing your midline. You are crossing your midline, okay? And that tends to make you far more relaxed, okay? You'll find your breath, lovely, hey, isn't it amazing? It works, okay? And you just sit like that for a minute or two. If you're finding that you're trying to retrieve information that you really believe is there, and that it is not coming into the, the occipital lobe, I think it's called that, then calm down, sit back. 2 minutes to just pull yourself towards yourself, is not a long time, and it can actually really help you in completing the exam to the best of your ability. So you sit like that, and then another technique I want to teach you is to find your vagus nerve. Okay, it's not your Las Vegas nerve, okay, all right, V-A-G-U-S, it's just over here, okay, above the left mammary gland, okay, so just make sure you're pushing in the right place. Don't ask anyone else to help you find it, okay, and it's just to the left. Can you feel it? It's A now. When you push it, you go, oh, have you found it? Ouch. The sore it is, the more stressed you are. Okay, there, yeah, there. Okay, watch, look, there. It's just where your arm comes into the socket here, just to the left, and it must be on the left, okay? This vagus nerve doesn't live on the right. It lives here, okay? Because usually, okay, I should be doing that. Now, everyone all together now, this is our left hand. No, I'm often going, I don't see that, Dr. Okay, and just run. It'll be sore, it's very sore. If it's sore when you press it, you know you found it. If it's sore when you press it, you know you found it. Okay, keep rubbing. If you found it, is it feeling a little bit less sensitive? Okay, now the more you rub the vagus nerves, now often I have done presentations. Listen please. I do presentations to large groups of people sometimes, and nerves are good. Now I will tell you that nerves are bad. Nerves are good, okay? Because it makes you perform at your best. You want those nerves, or you don't care. Nerves tells the audience that this person cares about what they're going to say to the audience. So the nerves are good. You just need to learn how to manage them. So I often sit backstage going, okay. And I'm crossing everything, and I'm rubbing like no tomorrow. And sometimes, but that's backstage, okay. So there I can gesticulate and be very bold about it. But if I'm sitting in the front row, I'm very demurely going to sit. And everyone will think I'm just comfortable while I'm crossing my midline, okay? And you can very unobtrusively just go under a jacket, and just do very slowly. The slower you do it, the better, actually, okay? Are some of you actually, is it working for some of you? Can you do it properly? Okay, cool. Now look, the midline works brilliantly, and then it just calms you down, okay? And especially when you get to a point where you want to panic, and you start looking at the times on the board, and you're freaking out, okay? And I don't cross off the times every 15 minutes to freak you out, just to pace you, okay? And I know, especially when it comes to that part of the exam when I go, you should now be going on to question 2. And everyone's going, what's my question 1? Okay. And that's when you cross the midline and hope for the best. Okay. Trust me, I'm not telling you nonsense, it works. You can ask Teacher Robin in the primary school. She can tell you all about this. Okay, mind moves. It's from mind moves. Okay, cool. Which some of you done before. Okay. Now, carry on to page 9. Page 9, we're nearly through this.